Lovely to see you all. Hope you had a lovely day. And let me move that out of the way. And it's nice to meet you. Welcome you to the annual general meeting of the Hertford Astronomy Group. This is our 16th one. I'm going to, first of all, just say it's being recorded. I'm sure you're all aware of that anyway when you logged in. But I'm just going to change the order of the agenda slightly because appointment of officers and members of the management committee, item number 6, I'm going to move that right up to the top of the agenda, mainly because we've had a volunteer to act as secretary, and you know, if we vote her in now, then she can start straight away. So the other members of the committee have all said that they're willing to stand, and as in previous years, what I've suggested is that we vote everybody in en bloc, unless, of course, there's somebody else out there wanting to take on one of the roles, in which case speak now. Deafened by the silence. Okay, so do we have, if I propose, well, can I propose? Yeah, all right, I'll propose that we vote everybody en bloc onto the committee. Can that be seconded? Thank you, Roger.
Seconded.
And Terry, and anybody else. Okay, if there are any objections to that, then send them in on a postcard to arrive by last Friday. Okay, you might find that the speaker view is quite good for looking at the meeting. Other than that, you know, just enjoy the whole of the session. So, apologies for absence. I've had a message from Peter Jenkins. Deeply sorry that he couldn't come. He was expressing how much he appreciates the work of HAG. So we can record Peter Jenkins as sending his apologies. I haven't received any other apologies. Has anybody else received any that they'd like to pass on? Okay. In which case, then we move on to item number 2 on the agenda, to receive and approve the minutes of the 14th annual general meeting held on Zoom 2023. Okay, so it's interesting, isn't it? That was the 14th meeting and this is the 16th. Well, we'll work out the exact numbers on that one later on. But the minutes have been circulated. I hope you've all had a chance to read through them. First thing to ask is that an accurate reflection of the meeting that we had last year? And if anyone think there's something not quite right with it, do feel free to say. Possibly the number of people present, because I hadn't got the right view on the camera, but other than that, all agree they're okay? Yep.
Yep.
Okay. In which case we will now move on then. Any matters arising from the minutes that anyone wants to bring up? I know we'll go through various other reports as we go along. Okay. No matters arising. Okay. So that then takes us to the reports. Sorry, it's a little bit, the bullet pointing and so on there is not as good as I would have really liked it, but you get the idea. I'll start at the top and work my way down. I'm just going to go through my report. There's a series of bullet points rather than sort of expanding on them. If you want me to expand, by all means, ask me at the end. But picking up attendances at our live presentations, they're gradually increasing, have been over the year. The technical team at the university continued to improve meeting quality and the dynamics and rise to the new challenges which present themselves on occasions. The meeting recordings are published on YouTube with the speaker's permission, and that allows wider access. We do monitor that, and we do see that quite a lot of viewings do take place of some of the recordings. Where they don't, it's often been because they've been a restricted audience they've been allowed to. The Society's main activities include the monthly meetings at the University of Hertfordshire, And we continue the strong links with the university, with collaboration with Dr. Ben Birmingham, Nuala O'Flynn. The observatory's artificial planets have inspired us to make our own. So gold stars there to Richard for what he showed us while we were at the university last week. It's always good to have something when you go, if you're going to a meeting and if it's cloudy, that we can still use the telescope. Institute of Physics talks have resumed and members are welcome to attend those. Outreach events include stargazing at neighbouring schools, excuse me, and the Hertford Dark Sky event, all very, very successful, even if the weather wasn't. I'd like to say thank you to Leon for being the group secretary, managing agendas, minutes and correspondence. I'd like to say thank you to Terry for continuing to do the Terry's Sky Notes, which appear on the website. Members, Richard, Danny, Martin, all the committee who contribute to various events significantly. I was going to say exciting times lie ahead with Simeon Lockhart Nelson's Blinded by the Light. I'll perhaps say a word about that in a moment. And that membership support is crucial, so do make sure you tell as many people about the club. And thank you very much for listening to my report. So, any questions on my report? Excellent, excellent. Just to say, I was picking up on Blinded by the Light. In the newsletter yesterday, if you got to the bottom of it, there was a bit about Simeon trying to arrange a meeting for 1 week's time to talk about any ideas whatsoever. I've said I'll go along to it, obviously, to represent the club. I wouldn't mind a little bit of support if anybody else wants to come along to that as well. I don't know what room it's going to be in yet, but if you can come along to it, if you click that link on the bottom of the newsletter, just say, yes, you'd like to come along. Perhaps we could even think of something. If you want to refresh yourselves about what he actually said, then the YouTube recording will have his presentation on there. I must admit, I was a bit baffled by it all, so I think I'll be looking at it again before the meeting. So, that's my report over with. Membership Secretary's report. I thought Tony was going to be here tonight, so I'll delay that one for the moment. If Tony appears later on, we'll ask him to go through that again. He has sent a PowerPoint presentation, but I thought that was for me just to have a little look at before the meeting, but we'll see about that one. Which takes us then to the equipment officers report. So we move over to Steve for that one.
Yeah, well, nothing really to say. There's equipment in both Alan's garage and in my shed, which is free. And well, I mean, the oscilloscope has actually been out. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a great facility that we have, and I kind of wish that it was used a little bit more. We've got some good equipment. But yeah, I mean, there's thought of buying a remote telescope. Sorry, not a remote telescope. The little Sea Star telescope, which is something we might decide to do in the future. But my feeling is that we should wait for version 2, Mac 2, to come out. But yeah, nothing more to report. Do you want me to phone Tony to find out whether he's...
I think that might be a good idea if you wouldn't mind. First of all, any questions for Steve? Thought not. Okay then, thanks ever so much, Steve. If you would ring Tony and see if he's intending to come, that would be appreciated. That takes us over to the Programme Secretary's report. So over to you, Jerry.
Okay, well, I actually have 2 roles, the other one being publicity, and I want to start with that. We've had some good publicity in both Astronomy Now and Sky at Night magazine, which are pretty much the 2 main general public astronomy magazines in the UK, including 1 month fairly recently where we were the featured society for 1 month and it gave details of our recent My Telescope Doesn't Work event. Plus, we've had some really good publicity from Alan's full page in Hatfield Times. I mean, for a society like us to be able to have a full page in a local newspaper is really quite something. So, okay, so some of you will be aware of our publicity display boards, and that we also have a pop-up banner. It's been decided to arrange some more pop-up banners to replace the other boards. So I'll be arranging these and aim to have them ready in time for our new session in September. The programme this year has generally gone without any problems. I did have to make one change though, because our speaker for the May meeting was to have been Ian Morrison, ex-Jodrell Bank. But you know, I'm sure many of you will know him as a lovely fellow. Unfortunately, we learned at the beginning of April that he had terminal cancer, and sadly he has since passed away. However, I was able to arrange for Chris Crow to fill in at short notice last week, and we all enjoyed his presentation on the science of Star Trek and Star Wars. I'm very pleased to announce that I have almost completed next season's programme, even though it's only the middle of May. I have, however, had to make just one change just today, as someone I had invited has only just told me in his third email that he'd like us to pay him £200, which is considerably more than anyone I have ever booked in nearly 20 years of doing this with this society and a previous one. So after discussing it with Alan, I've written to say we'll have to decline. But I've written to someone else and we'll see how they reply. Also, I'm awaiting one other person to say whether they can make it, and I'm awaiting 2 lecture titles, but that's pretty good for this time of year. So we'll send a copy of the full programme as soon as it is finalised. Now, in addition to our meetings, we shall, of course, also continue to be at the Bayford Observatory open evenings, and we're also currently expecting 3 additional special events. Firstly, the Saturday before our next meeting, when our speaker will, of course, be our Honorary President, Roger O'Brien. On September the 7th, the Saturday, we will have a publicity day in Welwyn Garden City. If we're outside, this will include, hopefully, some solar observing, and you're all welcome to come along and tell the public what a nice, friendly group we are. Then, also in the autumn, we expect to have another My Telescope Doesn't Work session, either on the 5th or the 12th of October. The 5th of October will be a dark night. The 12th, the moon will be just slightly past first quarter, but Saturn should be also available on both of them, and on the first one, Jupiter, though that won't rise till very late. So we'll send out details of that in due course. And then the third is on March the 29th next year, when there is a partial eclipse of the sun. And in our location, it'll be obscured about 30%. Now, not only is this a Saturday, brilliant, but the eclipse runs from 8 minutes past 10 in the morning until just after 12 noon. So the timing is absolutely ideal, and we will be arranging a public eclipse watch in Welwyn Garden City. So again, we'll send out full details in due course, and you're all welcome to come along with any suitable eclipse watching equipment, even if it's a colander, so you can get lots of eclipse views through that. So there we are. We've got a lot to look forward to, and hopefully the numbers at the university for our monthly meetings will continue to rise.
Oh, thank you very much indeed, Jerry. Does anyone have any questions for Jerry?
Yes, Terry.
Sorry, did somebody say something?
Yeah, sorry, I did. It's not a question, but Fiona and I have got about 10 or 12 solar eclipse glasses that are proper ones. Jerry, we won't be here. We plan to be away at that time, but I can certainly lend them to you.
That would be absolutely marvelous. Thank you so very much. We won't give them away.
It'd be nice to get them back, but it's not the end of the world.
Oh, no. We will make sure.
Right.
Okay, and on the website, there is a countdown to the eclipse. If you go down to the bottom left, so you shouldn't forget that one.
Maybe we should buy them for the club.
Could do.
You know, buy a few. I mean, if we're having a eclipse meeting in Welwyn, then it'd be nice to have to hand out some.
And when I do my report, you'll see we have got quite a bit of cash. So I think that's an excellent idea. I also think it could be equipment on loan, because I think there's a full eclipse in Spain next year, isn't there? In July-ish, June, July, August-ish.
Actually,
people, given that's not far away, there might be people that might fancy, getting hold of a few goggles and taking them on holiday with them.
Yeah.
I'll be in Spain watching it.
Yeah, I think I will be too.
I think there's two in Spain over the next couple of years.
26 and 27, yeah.
Yeah. So the one in 2026, it will be visible on the very northern coast of Spain. It's right at the end of the day, which will be different for watching an eclipse. And I recently spoke to some people from the Astronomical Society of Haringey about the possibility of driving down to watch it, and they are already planning to do that. And so it's possible that some of HAG people might join in with them. I'll get some more details and let you know about it.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Jerry. You've put together such a great program throughout the year, and carrying on with the publicity is doing really good. It's obviously vital for the club to keep the publicity bit going, so that we keep going from strength to strength. So any further questions for Jerry? No? Okay. The next item on there is the HAGAS report. We haven't got Dennis with us, so I don't think we've got a report from HAGAS, which takes us then to the FAS report, which I think that's Leon, isn't it? Are you there, Leon?
Yes.
Hey, fantastic. Over to you.
Just to say that the FAS is what we use. We join the FAS to be part of the group of astronomical societies, but they provide us with insurance at an extremely low price. they've had a problem getting it for this year, but they think they've got another one for next year. So we are all right. It's basically in case something happens at one of the meetings with the public. But apart from that, no, it's everything is going well. So for 60 odd pounds, we get a membership and insurance.
That's quite a bargain, isn't it? Question, Jerry?
No, I just want to say that the problem actually with the PLI has been over what's going to happen next year. This year's public liability insurance has been completely covered. There's no problem with that. But would you believe that the company concerned said that they didn't think they wanted to do it next year, and that they waited until about 2 months before it was due to be renewed, and we've had to find someone else. I say we because I'm on the committee of the FAS. But no, fortunately, it has all been sorted out, and there will be no problem at all.
Jerry, they do the same price or similar?
It's a similar price. Being a completely different company, that's not unexpected. I can't remember what the values are.
I'm not sure.
But
It's reasonable.
It is still incredibly cheaper than any society going off to arrange it by themselves.
Exactly.
Well worth it. Well worth it indeed.
This is shared between 200 societies.
Okay, any other questions there for Leon? No? Okay then.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Leon. And that takes us over to the statement of accounts. So over to you, Annie. Do you want to share screen or?
I don't this time, just because I don't think last time people could see it properly. So are we going to put it on the website?
I'll make it available if you like.
Spreadsheet and the report for anybody who's desperately interested. So I'll just read through my report, but you can access it on the website as well. So firstly, this is my report from myself, the Treasurer, for the accounts period 1st of April 2023 to 31st of March 2024. Firstly, our income. Main income is from membership subscriptions. And at the AGM last year in May 23, we agreed to keep the annual membership fee at £10 pro rata, as our income balanced with our spending over that financial year, and we continued to end the year with a healthy balance of £4,398 this time last year, or the 31st of March last year. So this year, we maintained our membership at around 100 people, generating an income of £1,021, which is on par with the previous year. So we've kept our membership strong with everyone's efforts. As in the previous year, exactly 78 people joined at or before the first meeting of the new programme year, which is September. So people join in droves through July, August and September, with the rest joining in small numbers each month for the rest of the season. And just to say, may I remind you all that the renewal date is this summer for the new HAG year, regardless of when in the year the member originally joined us. So I do continue to field sometimes questions from members who think if they join in January, they pay their £10 and it's a rolling year, and it isn't. It's very much a pro rata year. In terms of visitors, we charge £2 for visitors plus a 30p fee for Zoom visitors to use when they Zoom in. And we continue to use Ticket Source, which is an online platform, in exchange for a fee to administer those fees. Visitor numbers over the year are quite irregular, with we had as many as 28 on one occasion and as few as 2 on another occasion. Moving on to banking, we're charged an account fee now, unfortunately, of £5 per month. For years and years, it was completely free for organisations such as ourselves, but they've now implemented a £5 charge, plus an extra fee for any checks that come in. And we paid a total of £60.45 of charges over the year. In terms of expenditure, Zoom is our main expenditure. So as there is a small but regular number of members who choose to join our meetings online rather than in person, we continue to subscribe to Zoom. And as in the previous year, we now pay an annual subscription, which was £143.88 this last year, which was up by £40 on the previous year, but it continues to save us quite some significant money compared to doing it via a monthly fee, which we'd been doing through lockdown when we first implemented Zoom. The annual web hosting fee was £86.26 for the year. And we resumed meeting in person as well as on Zoom, and we're extremely fortunate that the University of Hertfordshire venue is given to us free, so there are no ongoing costs for this. For all of our previous years, going back to 2005, which is the first year we set up ourselves as an organisation, the fees for our premises was the biggest charge that we had over the year. So it's really fantastic that we're able to have our premises completely free these days. In terms of speakers, as always, we've enjoyed a varied programme of speakers, some of whom charge a speaker fee, some who just ask us for expenses, and some who provide their services for free as part of their wider outreach programme. One of our speakers asked us to make a donation to a cancer charity instead of taking the fee themselves this year. And we paid a total of £384 in speaker fees this year, which was up actually on the previous couple of years. Just a view from myself on speaker fees. I think if we really want a speaker, we shouldn't, and they do charge more than we've been used to being charged in the past. I think we could perhaps, if they're really worth it, we could actually look at paying more, but then I'll discuss that with Jerry and Alan, or if any of you have got any views on that. We've just had an update from Leon on the Federation of Astronomical Societies, but just to say that we did maintain our membership of FAS once more, as they offer a useful publicity service as well as general useful information, and the FAS enables us to, as we've already heard, to obtain public liability insurance at greatly reduced rates. The cost for this was generously gifted this year by one of our committee members. In terms of the auditor, I hadn't actually had the accounts audited this year as yet because I didn't think we had one, but Alan has actually told me that it was noted that Simon Poley volunteered last year, so I will get them toot sweet over to Simon to do the very simple accounts. Not undermining the work that somebody does doing them, but they're very straightforward. In terms of equipment and other expenses, we continue to respond to requests for support from local groups who are promoting and hosting various events, such as Scouts, Brownies, and the like, various village events, fetes, etc. And to this end, we have boosted our virtual reality equipment, which goes down an absolute storm, particularly with the younger generation at things like Cub groups and Scout groups and Brownies and the like. So we purchased this year a better headset, Meta Quest, whatever that is. Stephen, you can probably elaborate if there's a question. And I just pay it. I don't know what they do. And other apps for the VR at a cost this year of £234.97. But as I've said, personally, I think that was really good investment, because it's something that's very useful when you've got a large group of children who like to have a go on the VR set, as well as doing other events that we do outside and inside at various things. Jerry ran another of his popular My Telescope Doesn't Work sessions and hired Branfield Village Hall for that this year at a cost of £75. And so those were all of our expenses this year. So we began the year with a balance of, as I said, £4,398.67. And we actually end this period of accounts with a balance of £4,629.41, which is an increase of £230.74 on the year. So we're really rolling in it. We've never had that much money before. So as I've said, if people have got good ideas about how to spend that money rather than just having it sitting in a bank account, then please do let me know, and the committee will discuss it. Which brings me on to subscriptions for 24-25 year. It sounds odd to say that we think we should still continue to charge a subscription when I've already just said that we've got quite a lot of money banked. But it's about we're suggesting keeping it at £10 a year pro rata, because then we do know who's coming. We can it ensures we know we've got support for the club. So that's our proposal, to maintain the fee for the full year of 10 sessions, plus all the other enriching activities we do as well. So we propose a membership fee of £10 pro rata for adults 18 years of age and older, although if someone's in full-time education, they don't have to pay that. And we recommend that we retain the visitor fee of £2 per meeting plus 30p for the Zoom facility. And that ends my report. Are there any questions or comments?
Gosh, everyone very, very quiet there. I think probably what it is, and is a big thank you for continuing to get your eye on the ball. No questions? Okay. And £10 for a year. I mean, £1 a visit.
Do you remember in the early days we were paying 30, 40, £50 a year because there was only about 10 of us?
Yeah, absolute bargain, isn't it? And marvellous. So thank you very much indeed, Anne, for that very good report now. So if there are no questions on the accounts, we will move on. We've done the appointment of the officers. It's to the appointment of the honorary auditor for the next year. Although he's not here, I do think, well, let's put it this way. Shall we ask Simon to do it again? Perhaps, Anne, when you remind him that he offered this year, you can say, and by the way.
I will. I don't know why I didn't have that noted down.
I might be wrong, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I saw that down there. Okay, that then brings us to any other business. So if you've got, I've got a few things, perhaps should I go first, and then because you might be covering what you've got there. The first one is to say a very big thank you to John Fraser for joining down at the university and giving those talks, sharing them with Martin. It's nice to get another viewpoint on things, and we very much do appreciate that, John. So thank you very much. And I think also at the same time to say thank you to Fiona, who she ran a mercy mission on one of our meetings, and seriously, if she hadn't have done it, the meeting wouldn't have happened anywhere near as well as it did. So thanks to the pair of you. Our last committee meeting, two things turned up. One is to say that the AGM, that instead of doing it on Zoom like we're doing now, is to do it actually at the main meeting. This is going back to the practice we used to have back in the old days, when we were gathering up at Panshanger and so on like that, that we'd always do the AGM just before the meeting of the evening. That way we got a larger audience, and also probably made us talk a little bit quicker, so that get it done in about 15-20 minutes or so, but not wanting to stifle conversation, but Similarly, no need to create it just to fill a gap. So that was one of the things to say we were going to do there. So probably at that meeting, we would do away with the night sky bit before the meeting and the AGM take that place. Notice we do it at the start of the meeting so people can't run away quickly. And the second thing was that we discussed using Ticket Source, which has been a very good way of administering people coming to the university and visitors to join us. But we were finding perhaps it's now become not quite as necessary to go into the detail that we do. So what we were suggesting is that all paid up members need not bother about going to Ticket Source and booking a seat. Just turn up with your membership badge and flash it and you'll be in. So no need to do that. And similarly for anyone on Zoom, well, you don't have to do it anyway. You should automatically get put through. If you don't get automatically put through, have a word with Tony and he'll just check details. Members who are registered with the club should be registered by Tony with Ticket Source, and you should get automatic straight through entry. However, we did find that Ticket Source was an extremely good way of collecting money from visitors. It made it easy for them to book in advance, and we didn't have to handle the cash at the door. So we're going to continue Ticket Source for visitors, but you won't need to choose a seat or anything like that. So they can just pay the money, turn up. If people have any special needs, wheelchairs, etc., they can obviously let us know and we can move seats around down there. But we thought the time now has probably come where we can just say, like in the old days, turn up at the door, sit where you like, and enjoy the meeting. So they are the points that I wanted to raise under any other business. So over to you now, to the floor. Anyone else you'd like to say something, unmute yourself, speak up and say something.
Alan,
Yes, Leon.
I'd like to thank you for all your hard work over the year and for, as I keep saying, the glue that keeps us together.
Well, that's very kind of you. Thank you very much indeed, Leon. I've just got a computer glitch come up here, so I hope you can still hear me. Okay, well, that then...
There's something else.
Oh, yes, go ahead, Leon.
To thank Jerry for finding the last speaker who was unbelievable.
He was good, wasn't he? I must say that was one meeting I could follow all the way from start to finish.
Nobody fell asleep.
Brilliant. Go on, Jerry.
I do also think that we should thank Tony, even though he isn't here. His booking in system that he's put together has really made things so much easier. And it's just really smart. You just come along and get your ticket scanned and you're in. You know, it's absolutely marvelous.
Yeah, I second what you're saying there, but I don't really want to pick on individual members because there's an awful lot of other things that go on that people don't see. There's a lot of hair pulling and head scratching and whatever that goes on. But, you know, I'm sure that if I say thank you to all the committee members and the volunteers who help put it all together, I know that the audience there really do appreciate it. And I certainly appreciate, you know, the amount of effort and work that goes into it. So I'll officially end the meeting there, but if you want to stay around and chat, fine, let's go, you know, do by all means. So